What's going on, Aces? Welcome back to the channel. So Tony Buzbee has been trending and he's been in the news cycle heavily since Jay-Z has been attached to the civil lawsuit in Diddy's case. So Jay-Z is not the only one targeting attorney Tony Buzbee in court. A former client claimed that Buzbee acted more like his loan shark than his lawyer in a personal injury case. Directly on the heels of Jay-Z's scorching attack on Buzbee, Matthew Ray Thompson Jr. is now unloading on him, filing a federal lawsuit Monday against his ex-attorney. According to the documents, Thompson says he was injured in July of 2023 while working as a deckhand on a vessel that struck a barge in the Houston Ship Channel. He says he retained Buzbee, who filed a lawsuit on his behalf in November of 2023, which triggered automatic payments to Thompson from his employer while his lawsuit was pending. But in the suit, Thompson claims that those payments were delivered directly to Buzbee's firm, and then Buzbee gave him disbursements with one very expensive catch. Thompson alleges that Buzbee loaned him his own funds. Oh, no. It's definitely giving loan shark. That hair alone is giving loan shark. To add insult to injury, also charged him a high interest rate. He claims that Buzbee held back more than 60% of the money he was owed. He alleged that Buzbee has a reputation for pulling this move with other clients as well. Wow. That's, yeah. So he's giving sleazy. Um, According to Thompson, his testimony. While Buzbee's former client doesn't make reference to Diddy or Jay-Z by name, Thompson does paint a picture of Buzbee that's similar to the claims that Jay-Z made on Sunday in his statement. Thompson says Buzbee has become rich by milking the settlements with threats of negative attention from people who rely on their public reputations for their livelihood. Wow, that's horrible. You know, that your own lawyer would take advantage of you. Your lawyer is supposed to be your advocate. There's a couple updates that I want to give you guys. So 1:40 p.m. today, Tony Buzbee tells TMZ that Jay-Z's investigators contacted more than 40 former clients that apparently they found on Venmo. People really do be searching Venmo, Cash App, all these electronic payment methods for information, and it's getting precocious out here. They each were offered $1,000 to sue me. We have the investigators caught on tape admitting that he gave his client money to bring this case. We will be seeking state bar action against the lawyers involved because such conduct is a state law crime and also violates the ethical rules that govern lawyers. This case itself is frivolous and will be dismissed as such. So they're going after Tony Buzbee with everything, Venmo, past clients. Wow. So another update TMZ gives at 2:55 p.m. It says Tony Buzbee has now specifically addressed Matthew Thompson's allegations, saying, quote, Mr. Thompson was solicited and paid to bring this case. It has no merit. The lawyers who brought it would have seen that they bothered to do any due diligence at all. In his suit, Thompson claims our firm failed to forward him payments made by his former employer. That's patently untrue. His employer refused to make any such payments to him. He claims the fees weren't explained. He says that's also patently false. He signed a contract which clearly sets forth the fees. He claims that the expenses weren't explained. Again, that's patently false. He signed an affidavit at settlement agreeing to the expenses and acknowledging that they were explained. Finally, Thompson's claims that the firm took more than the contractual fee is patently false. He signed an affidavit stating that all was done correctly. That sounds suspicious right there, right? That he's having him sign all these various contracts in regards to his own settlement and that it was quote unquote done correctly. I mean, he's a lawyer, so he's going to know what the paperwork says But you really have to read contracts carefully. And again, one would think that you could trust your attorney, that they have your best interest at heart, but most of the time, most people just have their own best interest at heart. The bottom line is that the investigators who manufactured this case and the lawyers who filed it were both reckless and foolish. This case is junk, and the effort behind it will be exposed. So this is interesting, right? So Tony Buzbee, like I said, he's been in the news cycle as much as Jay-Z, and everybody else is coming out with these cases. But listen, they're gonna have to settle it in court. I feel like, unfortunately, Matthew Thompson, if what he's saying is true, that Tony Buzbee has not only took most of his settlement, a huge chunk of his settlement, and then charged him back high interest fees. I feel like even if he did sign paperwork, that, in my opinion, would be like entrapment, because one would think that your lawyer would not try to essentially embezzle your money or take your money. And again, you have to read contracts, even from your lawyer, very, very carefully before you sign them. I remember, when I was working at an institution, I don't even want to say what it was, but, in my youthful naivete, I signed something that I regret. I still think about that to this day. And ever since then, though, and it was me leaving the company, but I shouldn't have signed the paperwork that I did. But ever since then, I've been extremely careful about anything that I sign, to the point where I was going back and forth with one of my clients. And I mean, we went back and forth with her lawyers at least 4 or 5 times before they got the contract to an acceptable place where I would even think about signing it. Because what you're not going to do is get over on me twice. I don't care. But I mean, that's what life is, right? Life is a series of learning lessons. And I do hope that Matthew Thompson, if he does have enough, money left, or, he maybe studies the law himself. I was going to say that he could retain a different lawyer to go after Buzbee to get the rest of his money. Or, like I said, learning the law himself. But I don't know. I hope that, he's able to get those funds back. Because if Tony's out here acting like a loan shark to his own clients, like, that's horrible. It reminds me of Erica Jane's husband. Not that he was acting like a loan shark, because he just took those people's money, the victims on the plane. Yeah, he took like millions, I mean multi-millions of dollars from them, and they didn't receive a dime. And he essentially funded Erica Jane's lifestyle and her record career. But now he's older, and now he's saying that he has Alzheimer's. He doesn't remember anything. He might, but the judge and Erica Jane's husband, John Girardi, I think that's his name. No, Tom Girardi, that's his name. He said that he did feel like he was fit enough to stand trial. But it's unfortunate, right? It's an evil world we live in. My future voice, right? You can't trust your lawyer. You're supposed to, retain counsel, and they're supposed to advocate for you. That's what attorneys are supposed to do. Unfortunately, money has this, effect on people, where they see that you have it. They see that you have $1, and they're trying to get 75 cents of that, off top. So, one thing I learned from my grandparents, because they had money, they had assets, and they had some money, but they lived very, like, they had very humble living, and people, of course, around them knew that they had money, but they weren't flashy. They weren't, because that's the best way to live your life. Just keep things, a low profile. Because I'm telling you, as soon as people find out that you got $1, child, they try to snatch it. They try to snatch it. It don't matter if it's your lawyer or whoever it is. It's like, man, Matthew Thompson. But this helps, I guess Jay-Z, like him and his legal team are doing their best to try to, I guess, like discredit, Tony Buzbee and get him, away from the case, or at least diminish his credibility. And again, that's a legal tactic, right? People online are breaking down Jay-Z's, the statement that he made recently. And they're basically saying it's a long PR stunt. I mean, it's almost, verbatim, where people will essentially diminish the credibility of the victim. Like, there's a thing in there with victim blaming. They break it down section by section. So it sounds like, they're going after his PR team. I'm sure that he does probably have a legal team. He's a billionaire, just like Diddy was a billionaire. And again, I feel like I hope that this is not true in regards to Jay-Z. But if it is true, he's going to be spending a lot of money, right, to defend himself. The legal system it's a money game. It really truly is. Yeah, I'm like, dang, I should have stayed in law school and became an entertainment lawyer. I had no idea, just, how lucrative entertainment law was, but just how people, constantly target these entertainers. And maybe that's why Beyonce is selling, shampoo and liquor. She got her Saturday was whiskey, and what else she got? Her art book just came out. It's actually sold out. So congratulations to her. And they're at the Mufasa premiere. Listen, Beyonce always had, a really strong work ethic, but Mama's is working. Okay. They didn't put Blue Ivy to work. Okay. If you in the Carter household, you're going to have a job or three. So, I'm like, I don't know if Beyonce knew this was coming down the pike in regards to Jay-Z's, legal bills. But they're gonna need to turn a profit in order to hopefully keep him out of prison. Because I don't feel like, and listen, nobody knows the future, but Cinco de Mayo next year, May 5th, 2025, I don't feel like Diddy is going to see the light of day. But who knows, right? Who knows? I mean, we have a convicted felon in the White House. He just got elected by a majority of Americans. So anything is possible. Or, Trump could, because he wants to pardon, I think a lot of people that took place on January 6th, that insurrection, he's talking about pardoning them. He may pardon Diddy and whoever else. You never know. But I do know this, that Jay-Z, is going to have to come out of pocket significantly to keep himself out of prison, or at least to pay his legal team to do their job. So, I don't know what he has going on. I know Beyonce, like I said, she has the Sacred line, the candles, the Sir Davis whiskey. She is working, pumping those products out. Jay-Z, sir, I need you to, step your game up, because you're having liabilities come in and bills come in instead of making money. You're losing the family money. But anyway, you guys, let me know your thoughts on Tony Buzbee being sued by a former client. I hope that he has the opportunity to get his money back, because, again, Thompson said that's not the only person, that there's multiple people that Tony Buzbee has done this to. And that's really unfortunate, trying to hit people in their most vulnerable time. It's just a sleazy thing to do, especially if you're their lawyer, right? They look to you for counsel and advocacy, and you're trying to take their money off top. So y'all, let me know your thoughts. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will talk with you in the next one. Take care, aces. Bye.